There lived a young woman named Mira. She had no mother, no father, and no place to call home. She wandered from town to town with nothing but a small bag on her back and a hope in her heart. One cold morning, Mira heard of a job in the hills. A rich man and his wife were looking for a maid to work in their house. The house was large and the job paid well, and there would be a room for her to sleep in and meals every day. Mira, who had nowhere else to go, followed the road up to the house at the edge of the woods. It was a fine house with wide windows and heavy doors. The man of the house was called Master Howin. He was calm, well-spoken, and smiled often. His wife, Lady Sarah, was quiet at first, but her moods changed like the wind. Some days she would speak kindly, other days she would shout and break dishes for no reason. They had a little girl named Lila, who hardly spoke but always watched with eyes wide and silent. Mira took the job. She cleaned the floors, scrubbed the walls, and served the meals. She stayed quiet and did her work, thankful for a warm bed and food in her belly. But soon, she began to notice strange things. Her bedroom was up in the attic, and the door locked from the outside. Every night after dinner, someone would turn the key and leave her there. She tried to open it one night, but it wouldn't budge. When she asked why, Lady Sarah only said, "It's for your safety." Then there were sounds, whispers in the walls, footsteps when no one was there. One day, Mira woke up to find her blanket gone, and she later found it folded neatly at the foot of her bed, although she had never left it there. Another time, she found scratches on the inside of her bedroom door, long and deep, and little Lila would sometimes whisper to Mira when no one was listening. She once said, "The last maid stayed in your room too, but she never came back out." That night, Mira stayed awake and listened. The house groaned and cracked. She crept to her door and peeked through the keyhole. Down the stairs, she could just make out Master Howin standing by the fire. But he was not the gentleman he pretended to be. His voice was sharp, his hands cruel, and Lady Sarah stood trembling beside him. It was clear then he ruled the house with fear. Mira began to see the truth. The house wasn't just strange, it was dangerous. And she wasn't the first girl to be brought there. Others had come before, but they had vanished one by one. Their names were never spoken again. But Mira was not a fool. She kept her eyes open, her ears sharp, and said nothing. She waited, she listened, and she began to understand that Lady Sarah too was trapped, that even the mistress of the house feared the master. So one morning, when Howin left to go into town, Mira spoke to Lady Sarah in whisper, "If you help me leave, I will help you and your daughter too." At first, Lady Sarah shook her head, but as the days passed, her eyes began to change. One night, she gave Mira the key to her attic room. When Master Howin returned, he found nothing where Mira had been. Her bed was cold, her room empty. Lady Sarah and Lila were gone too. Some say Mira went to the village and told the lawmen everything. Others say she lit a fire in the woods as a signal, and someone came for them in the night. No one is quite sure what happened the next. But the house stood empty after that, quiet, still, and watched by no one. They say Master Howin was never seen again. Mira never returned to the village. Some believe she started a new life by the sea. Others say she now walks the road, warning girls who are desperate for work, telling them to listen for locks on the outside of the doors. And to this day, if you hear of a grand house in the hills offering good pay for quiet work, think of Mira the housemaid who stayed silent, who waited. She was clever, She was brave and she got out before the door shut for good.